Everyone and their mother has a diagnosis for Ben Simmons. The problem now is that there's extremists on both sides. There's people that disregard the creation of offense for his teammates and the defensive impact and came up with the notion that he's an overpaid role player. And there's some people, a lot less of them, that don't think Ben has to improve his game at all. But ultimately, this imbalance has made having a conversation about 2-5 impossible. It's no logic, it's just emotion. I keep seeing misconceptions circulating that his game is useless and counterproductive to winning in the playoffs, which couldn't be further from the truth. And let me add this as a warning. This is episode 1 of a 2-episode series, so before you get emotional and comment about his jump shot or lack thereof and his offensive production, that'll all be addressed in the 2nd episode, so relax! My only ask is that you watch this with an open mind. You know me, bro. Let's talk about it. Even with Kawhi defending Ben Simmons man-to-man, Kyle Lowry shuffles into the paint to crowd it and make Ben's life harder. Except he's so concerned with what Ben's gonna do that he's checking a ghost over there. Kyle! Where's your man? Toronto's in a man-to-man look here, but watch what 2-5's presence causes. Pascal Siakam and Serge Ibaka stay deep in the paint to prevent Ben from getting downhill. So naturally, Ben does some quick thinking. If Serge is down here waiting on what I'm doing, then someone's got to be open, and Ben finds the green light. Most of Boston's defense is back in transition, and they've all identified their assignments. Except Ben puts his head down and gets downhill, which forces Greg Monroe to leave Dario and double up. This defensive attention on Ben creates a wide open 3 for Dario. Ben gets downhill, and as a result, nobody picks up a cutting Robert Covington on the opposite side because they're all watching Ben. And to ensure Covington has no problems getting this shot off, he looks off 2 defenders in the paint, anticipating a closeout. Ben sets a screen, and his roll gravity forces Jarrett Allen to leave Boban Marjanovic, and this frees him for an easy bucket. In transition, Brooklyn forms a wall at the free throw line to prevent Ben from getting to the rack. So Ben keeps his eyes on JJ, which pulls the center away from the basket and gives a no-look to a cutting Joe, who Joe Harris has no chance of getting in front of. Ben gets downhill, and as Allen backpedals, 2 Nets defenders can only stand there and watch. Joe cuts back door, and because of the attention on Ben, there's no center under the rack or anybody to front Joe. Again, Ben's roll gravity after a screen forces the defense to leave their assignments. He sees the double and hits a wide open Tobias because of it. Ben has Harris on an island, which forces Allen to commit to doubling him. And with no center under the basket because of the attention on Ben, he hits a wide open cutting Joe. Ben gets downhill after a JJ screen, and because Allen has to play weak side help, Joe is unchecked in the corner. Man-to-man Pascal checking Ben. Watch what his presence causes. Danny Green leaves his assignment to collapse on Ben, who got the step on Siakam, and Fred VanVleet leaves his assignment to take Danny's guy. Ben, while on the move, sees how the defense reacts to him and makes a cross-court pass for a comfortable 3. And that shot's not there without Ben's drive. Toronto sends a double at Ben down low, and while Fred VanVleet is concerned with what Ben's gonna do, his man's already getting a bucket. Everyone's swiping at Ben. 1, 2, 3 of them. All of this attention on Ben, look at how many defenders swarmed him. Creates enough space for Mike Scott to get a catch-and-shoot 3 off. Kawhi thinks he's slick getting a foot in the paint, doesn't he? Ben works downhill from the wing, and Kawhi never leaves the paint even as Ben telegraphs his pass. And because he was sagging and staying in the paint to prevent a Ben drive for so long, he's at a disadvantage when he gets to Ennis. One of the most iconic plays in recent Sixers history was kick-started by Ben. Much like the defensive emphasis on the previous play, Toronto devoted their defensive attention to preventing Ben from getting downhill. And because of the wall, Gasol is so far off of Embiid that by the time he gets to him, he's at a disadvantage. Again, even with 2-time Defensive Player of the Year Kawhi Leonard defending Ben, Toronto's got to send a double. And in order to double, Siakam leaves Tobias unchecked in the corner, so by the time he gets there, he's at a disadvantage. Watch, Kawhi identifies his assignment, but he's still got to crowd the paint because of Ben. Everyone else is manned up, so this defensive attention on Ben creates a good look for Joe. Again, one-on-one, man-to-man looks everywhere, except Siakam sags off of his man and stays in the paint because of Ben getting downhill, which creates enough space for Tobias. In transition, there's 4 Raptors watching Ben, and nobody picks up the shooter with the green light. Toronto forms a wall to prevent Ben from getting to the rack, and with 4 defenders watching him, nobody sees James Ennis behind him. Toronto keeps 3 defenders near Ben in the post and sends a double-team blitz, which creates a 3-point shot for Tobias. Bruh, if Ben has 0 offensive impact, why is Miami's priority picking him up before he crosses half court and not JJ Redick? And did you just see that dime? That reminds me of this. Joe Harris is preoccupied with worrying about who's checking Ben in transition, which frees JJ. 2 Heat defenders key in on Ben in transition, and then watch this. Winslow is so focused on Ben, even with 2 defenders in the area, that he doesn't pick up Covington cutting back door. It's a man-to-man look everywhere, and Ben is going to work down low. And Goran completely disregards his man because he either thought the play was over or he was going to double. Because Ben gets downhill, Al Horford's gotta let him know he's there. So Ben makes him pay for sagging. It's too late, partner. Everyone on the Nets is manned up defensively and they have their assignments. Except Joe Harris is nowhere near Tobias in the corner. Why? It could be for a potential Boban double team, but Ben was getting downhill and Brooklyn sold out all series to prevent that. So I'm going with the latter. He was keeping a foot in case Ben drove. Of 178 players that played 15 or less games in the 2017 playoffs, Ben ranked 5th in total assists. And then of 185 players to play 15 or less games in the 2018 playoffs, he ranked 4th in total assists, more than Chris Paul and KD. And of those same player pools, he ranked 4th in the 2017 playoffs and 3rd in the 2018 playoffs for assist points created. And you do know defense matters, right? Like, you can only go as far as your defense lets you. Of 53 players that defended 90 or more shots in the 2017 playoffs, Simmons surrendered the 5th fewest makes, less than Giannis, Drew, and Donovan Mitchell. There were 2 games in the Miami series where Simmons posted 4 steals. Of 178 players to play 15 or less games in the 2017 playoffs, Simmons totaled the 5th most steals and the 10th most blocks as a rookie. And then in the following season, he did even better defensively on the biggest stage. Of 52 players that defended 90 or more shots in the 2018 playoffs, Simmons, again, surrendered a top 10 lowest mark in opponent makes. He held his opponents to 34% in the 2018 postseason, which was the lowest surrendered field goal percentage of all of those 52 players. And of 185 players to play 15 or less games in the 2018 playoffs, Simmons totaled the 5th most steals and the 6th most blocks. He was tough against the isolation in all of the 2018 postseason, but specifically in the Brooklyn series, D'Angelo Russell and Spencer Dinwiddie made just 10 of 30 shots against them. And in just his 2nd season, at 23 years old, he was matched on Kawhi for an entire 7-game series. Kawhi's a demon, there's no stopping him, but Ben couldn't have done much of a better job. Kawhi missed 13 of his 17 threes when defended by Ben and made just 20 of 50 attempts, whereas Kawhi shot 56% from the floor and 37% from deep against the rest of the Sixers. And Ben also rotated between positions 1 through 5 as Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Danny Green combined to make just 7 shots on 21 attempts with 5 turnovers against Simmons. Bro, that's it for me. I appreciate you hanging out with me. As always, I'll see you when I see you. I hope it's an episode 2, but if not, hit me up with a sub, comment below, holler at me on Twitter. Do whatever you gotta do, but most importantly, Stay solid, baby. Stay solid, baby. I'm off this.